Jen.
And Jenny.
And we are here with the 8th component of the SIOP model, review and assessment.
So, review and assessment. Most of us know how important assessment is. We look at data all the time. But just a reminder, throughout the lesson, it is important to determine how well students have understood and have retained key vocabulary and content concepts.
The data that we obtain through assessments helps us to determine if we should move on or offer additional instruction, which is key to the effective assessment and instruction of our students.
It is important for teachers to incorporate review and assessment into the daily lesson to assess student learning and effective teaching.
This is where those formative assessments, those professional decisions that you're making all day long.
Exactly. All right. So, some ways you can review. Review key vocabulary. Knowing that vocabulary, it is paramount for our EL students. Making sure you're relating new words to known words. You're building on their background knowledge. Show verb tense, part of speech, and sentence structure. Put it in that 4 square. Repeating and reinforcing language patterns. Making sure that they understand the patterns of language. Especially like 3rd graders, we're teaching them foundations or phonics. And it is so important for them to learn those patterns so that way they're able to read.
So scaffold your reviews. Use paraphrasing. Be really systematic in your word study. Students could make personal books or dictionaries. We've talked about those before, where they have the tools they need to access the curriculum.
So, review key concepts. So, informal summarizing, chunking the information, structured review, linking review, final review. Any type of review you can do before the test is very helpful for students, especially if you do it with the test in mind, making sure you're covering all those vocabulary words that you know are going to be on that test.
Yeah, that you've hit all your learning objectives and
Yep.
they've been given the ability to succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, these are your assessments that are based on those lesson objectives. And remember that your content objectives should be coming from your standards. So what is assessment?
Assessment is the gathering and synthesizing of information concerning student learning. Evaluation is making judgments about student learning. Assessment is what we mostly do. Evaluation is at the very end where we're going, okay, did they actually learn it? And whereas assessment is a continuous, ongoing thing.
So informal assessment is probably what you do the most. I know it is for me. That's on the spot, just ongoing, what's happening as I'm checking their assignments throughout the day, as I'm seeing how they've done on their book work, and even just the questions they're asking, like where do I need to go from there?
Exactly.
Also, authentic assessments. Does it apply to real life? Did you use multidimensional? Did you have multiple indicators? And uses a rubric. I know that we found when we had to rewrite some assessments along this course that sometimes our assessments weren't as valid as we thought they should be.
Exactly.
So let's make sure they're authentic.
All right. Review is essential to evaluation, which is essential to progress.